Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday, and we have a user replay from Deweirdout. He's been on my channel multiple times. He likes to send me replays and I do enjoy showing them off. And today he has brought me a replay with the Tier 7 USN Light Cruiser, the Helena, and if anyone has been watching my channel, they know that I actually really do love this ship. It's a powerful Tier 7 cruiser, and I think it can be very much underestimated at times. He has joined with two of his clanmates. There we go. In the Cossack and the Akatsuki, and as you can see, he is the lowly Tier 7 in a Tier 8 battle, and there is in fact obviously a carrier. Actually make that two carriers. There's two carriers on the enemy team, and that is going to make the friendly destroyers' lives a little bit difficult because obviously carriers are a strong opponent of destroyers, and it's going to make their ability to do their job a little bit more difficult. Not impossible, but definitely a little bit more difficult. Now, I haven't watched this replay at all, so I can't say what is going to happen. I did see the end results, and they were pretty decent. So, as you can see, they are playing on two brothers, playing Domination, which I really do prefer Domination. I've said that so many times. I hate Standard Battle, but as you can see, positioning is kind of what you really need to do with the Helena. Being able to find a nice little island you can use for solid cover, as well as offering additional AA support from the enemy CVs, because look at this. Enemy Kaga is pushing down the middle with his torp planes and is getting hit a little bit from Dewey here. And, well, let's see if he can keep up with that damage. Now, the friendly CVs are actually doing their jobs. They are laying down fighter support, which can be quite devastating against any enemy CV's planes. And one nice little thing is, even if you drop a fighter like that Kaga did, it's irrelevant because the fighter, once it's latched onto you, it will stay latched onto it until obviously it goes down. So yeah, not always the best idea. It's generally better just to try to avoid any fighter area unless you are able to get in to strike the target. Now, I do apologize, my phone did just go off there, and hopefully none of you guys actually heard it. And this is actually the first shot he's actually managed to fire. Has a enemy Baron, and once again, the positioning is very important. And when running this cruiser, skills are also very important. So, main issue with the ship, especially when you're facing off against higher tier ships, is the fact that the shells are 152, and they do tend to break quite easily on enemy battleships. Now, I don't know if he has IFHE. I would assume he probably does, because that would probably be the next skill that I would get for my captain. I would obviously go all the way up to Concealment Expert and then get IFHE, and it can be argued you might want to get IFHE before you get Concealment, but dying early doesn't actually help your damage. So yeah, Bayern does get a fire and is just charging in. I mean, it's not the worst idea, but he is charging into a Vladivostok, Nagato, Cleveland, and a Cossack. And yeah, not the best idea. Now, granted, it is a Bayern, and when I played the Bayern, I wasn't particularly that impressed with it. Ouch. Ouch. Look at that. He's already lost half of his health. He's had another fire, did repair it, and it's just charging full force into a Vladivostok, not having really much support. Kinda a little foolish in my opinion. Definitely not the best play for this Bayern, but Dewani, sorry, is currently doing his actually very best as far as actually being in a very good position. He's not being focused on. He still has a good island to protect him. But as you can see, CV still manages to get in and land a semi-decent hit on his ship. And that's my issue right now with defensive AA, is it doesn't really seem to be doing much. Now, yes, it does increase the damage output, but that's the thing. The whole point of using your defensive AA was to deal extra damage, but it also used to disperse the shell drops before, and obviously it doesn't do that anymore. So, I don't know. I'm not an overly big fan of defensive AA right now. Nagato once again pushing in. I don't know what's with these teams, and I know, especially experiencing playing World of Warships during the weekend, and especially now it's summer and all the kids are out. I blame kids. Honestly, more than likely it's not kids. It's more likely adults who play this game that play it more for fun and don't have a very firm grasp on the mechanics of the game. So I shouldn't really blame kids. I know that's generally the thing that's focused on, and my word, this is a very random thought there. But anyways, as you can see, the enemy team have already lost 3 of their ships. D is finally able to be start to be captured, but while all this was happening on the east side, the west hand side, the enemy team is very much in control. They have majority of the forces over there, but as you can see, they're not really taking advantage of that. They have most of their battleships, besides the Richelieu, sitting quite far back from the cap. Granted, there is Akatsuki, but there's also a kid protecting the battleships. So positioning on the enemy team, not particularly great. Definitely could have been forcing down the western side. Granted, they have lost ship, but all the ships they've lost have been on the eastern front. So honestly, it's just bad positioning. Like, I've seen this time and time again. This is why I brought up the whole weekend thing. But that's kind of what happens. And granted, a lot of people may not play this with a full understanding of mechanics, but doesn't mean that you cannot read a map. So anyways, they are starting to push into D. Finally able to capture it. It's actually been almost 9 minutes. They're finally able to capture D, and yet they're still nearly 200 points ahead of the enemy team, 150. So enemy team is very much in trouble, especially with the current positioning of the enemy Saipan, who has pushed up to the very middle, right north of the western large island. So it's a good position. However, if, for example, the enemy team is able to force itself around the island, you're very much susceptible to the advances of the enemy forces. So once again, kind of dangerous. Enemy team finally managed to kind of bring it back. They managed to take out 2 of the enemy battleships, friendly battleships, in rather quick succession there. But once again, Saipan is very much in danger of being overran. Does look like the enemy Nagato is coming back to help protect B, and that's when the enemy Saipan is detected. And once again, once the CV is spotted, it generally is going to be focused down fairly quickly. Now, current situation with Dewani in the Helena is he is sailing in open water, and it makes it very, very dangerous for the ship because it has a very weak side armor and very weak bow armor even. So it's definitely not a ship that is known for open water territory, being able to fire and not take a lot of damage. So very dangerous right now for him. But, I mean, hey, if they can take out the Saipan, which has tier 10 planes, it's going to help their team in the long run. So, not the worst idea, honestly, as long as he can stay away from that Nagato. Nagato is probably the biggest danger for him right now. At the moment. But Saipan finally goes down to the friendly Vladivostok. And that is when, let's see, the Kaga is trying to drop. Yeah, the positioning on the enemy team kind of is lacking, to be perfectly honest. He does switch his position over to the Atlanta. Atlanta, if played right, can be quite dangerous. However, it is very much in the same boat with the Helena, with the fact that the Atlanta is basically a large destroyer with a citadel and does take HE damage quite readily. Does go out undetected because of going outside the gun range of the Atlanta, but oops, looks like a little nudge there, little run-in with a friendly battleship, scraping off some of that damage. Now the enemy team is finally forcing its way down and essentially is being held up by the friendly CVs and the Edinburgh, but unfortunately the friendly team have managed to lose their Cleveland by the enemy Kaga. But I'm pretty certain at this time the enemy team is going to be losing this one. Not to spoil anything, but they are losing the B cap. However, they are managing to even up the amount of ships sunk. So it's still a little bit close at the time, but the fact is Dewani's team does manage to have 3 caps, and the enemy team will only have 1. Now, once again, Dewani is very much in open water and can have major issues from the enemy Nagato as well as the Amagi. So I'm kind of curious where he's planning on really going. Now, he is really going north, chasing down, I'm assuming, probably the Atlanta, which the Atlanta we know is very, very low on health. But in all honesty, it's a very dangerous position, and it's very far away from the main caps. And it looks like he's just trying to get in range of the Nagato, which the Nagato is still running away. And this is kind of the issue. If a ship is fast enough to kind of stay ahead, even if you get within range... Oh, wow. Salanta. Oh, the Salanta made a very, very bad choice here. And, ooh... Fortunately, the Nagato does miss. Get rid of this Atlanta. That should definitely help take up the points. And it looks like Dewani's wisely deciding to turn away from the Nagato, kind of break off from it. That's a very, very wise decision because the Nagato is the only one actually looking at him. Magi is, in fact, ignoring him, focusing on the Vladivostok. And he can at least farm this Magi and possibly get some fires on, because if a Helena is left to its own devices, it can very much rack up that fire damage. So once again, Helena, very strong ship if in the right hands. That should be with a footnote. So currently focusing on that Magi. Nagato has been pretty much ran all the way to the northwestern part of the map. Still is being ignored by the Amagi. Amagi very much has his hands full. That more than likely the Amagi will probably ignore him. Let's see what is going to happen. I'm pretty certain this Amagi is going to go down relatively quickly. Has a Amagi and a Vladivostok dealing damage. Does earn Confederate there, dealing almost 90,000 points of damage. And once again, let's see, is it actually the Amagi turning focus? Because he still has a ship looking at him, and I'm pretty certain it can't be the Nagato, but any moment now should get the kill on this Amagi. There he goes, takes out the enemy Amagi with the fire. That is kill number 3 for him. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get a Kraken, but hey, that's could be a lot worse. Now the enemy team is, at the moment, trying to capture C. Now look at their positioning. Now they had a carrier who unwisely decided not really to move. That they did focus down, and it's not the worst idea. I mean, once again, taking out a carrier very much levels the playing field, and that Richelieu was so incredibly low in health. Should hopefully get taken out by the friendly Shikaku. Now Deweirdout, it looks like I'm trying to figure out which direction he's going to go. Richelieu is taken out. Enemy team only has a minute and 40 left to win. Or to lose, sorry. Deweirdout's team has only a minute and 30 seconds to win right now. Let's see. It does look like Deweirdout is pushing towards D. And this is how you should be playing World of Warships. Is you should be proactive, thinking ahead where you need to be. And he is choosing the right positioning because he does know the kid was last seen moving towards D. And he is in fact going that direction to try to intercept and prevent that kid from actually capturing D. Now, unfortunately for that kid, takes a big old hit from the friendly CV, knocks off at least 5,000 points of his health, and is getting once again hammered by the enemy, or by the friendly CV rather. Gets another 1,000 points off of his health, and is going to smoke up, which, I mean, it's not the worst idea. If to be perfectly honest, but as soon as he is fully engulfed in smoke, he's not going to be able to spot Deweirdout here. And the Helena, in fact, does have Hydro, so as soon as that Hydro is popped, he should be at least able to sniff out this enemy kid. Enemy team does manage to take out the Vladivostok. Kaga is definitely doing his job there. Finally pops the Hydro and is just going to push in. Now, as soon as he steps in, the kid should hopefully realize that the Helena has in fact pushed in his direction. Hydroacoustic has detected the torpedoes, but he should be able to outrun them with little issue. And honestly, this kid should be running away as quickly as possible, because right now the points are actually very close. Enemy team have 2 caps to the friendly team's 1. Prince Eugen is pushing on Deweirdout's friendly Cossack there, but it does look like the Prince Eugen is probably going to go down. And yeah, I really don't know what this kid was thinking was going to happen, because Deweirdout goes down and this kid is just going to get pummeled away, because the Helena has 15 guns. And they hurt when you're a destroyer. Now, he does turn in just in case of torpedoes, and that is game. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijen.